back to our channel. So in the previous class we have seen the class concept and object concept in Python programming, and in this session we'll go with the inheritance concept in Python. So how can we implement this inheritance in Python? So first we will see what is meant by inheritance and what are the different ways of implementing this inheritance. That means types of inheritance. So inheritance means acquiring the properties. Acquiring the properties, right? So here we'll be having the base class and derived class. Okay, let it be two classes are there. So here we'll be having some variables and methods, right? Similarly, this class is also having variables and methods, right? So in the previous session we have seen, in order to access these variables or methods of a class, first we have to create an object, and through that object we can access the variables and methods. Similarly, in order to access the variables and methods of this class, we have to create an object, and through that object we can access the variables and methods. So here the concept of inheritance means acquiring the properties. So if this class is inherited from this class, if this class is inherited from the base class, so this class can acquire the properties of base class, right? So hope you understood. So that's why, simple example, this is called as a parent class, this is called a child class. So child is from parent, so say child can access or it can acquire the properties of a parent. So with the help of this object we can access the variables and methods of a derived class as well as the variables and methods of a base class. So from this we can access the same thing, right? So if it is inherited, we need not go for this object. We need not create an object for these variables and methods, because this class is inherited from the base class, so it acquires the properties of a base class. So this derived class is acquiring the properties of a base class. That means if we create an object for this derived class, through this object we can access the variables and methods of both the derived class as well as the base class. So simply the parent and child relationship. So child can acquire the properties of parent. So this is all about the inheritance concept, right? Now let us see the types of inheritance. So in this session we will see the two types of inheritance, that is a single inheritance and a multi-level inheritance. So hope you understood this one, right? See, the first one is single inheritance. Now what is meant by single inheritance? So there will be one base class and one derived class. So derived class is inheriting the properties of base class. So that is called a single inheritance. So base class, from this base class we will get the derived class, so that the object of derived class can access the variables, methods of derived class and base class. See, now we have seen, so in order to create a class we have to use a class keyword. So class followed by the class name. So here we are writing it as a parent, okay, parent. So indentation, so I am keeping the column, and then here we can write the variables or methods, right? So I will write just a method. So we know that the method is nothing but a function. So function should start with the def keyword. So def some, I will write a display, and we have to pass one parameter. By default it should be a self parameter. So self again colon, and here just I will write print parent. Right. Then again I have to create a child class. So this is nothing but a parent. Okay. So I will write here. Okay. And this is the child. Okay. So I have written the parent. Now I have to create the child class which is inherited from the parent. Normally, writing this child class, we have to write again the class followed by the class name colon def. I am writing the method show self, the default parameter, and print child. So this we have to write without inheritance. Now the concept is inheritance. So child is inheriting the properties of parent. So for that purpose we have to pass the parent name, that means the base class name, as a parameter to the derived class. Right? So here the child is a derived class which is derived from parent. So I have to pass the parent class, that means a base class, as a parameter to the child class. So right. So if you write the base class as a parameter to the child class in parentheses, that implies it satisfies the inheritance. That means it is implemented the inheritance. That means this child is inherited from the parent. Child is inherited from the parent. Now we have to create an object for a child which can access the methods of child and parent, because child is inherited from the parent. So we know that the creation, object creation is some object name is equal to some class name followed by parentheses. So this is the syntax for creating an object. So in order to access this display method, we need not create an object for parent. We can create an object for child because child is already derived from parent. So I am writing C1 is equal to child. So this statement will instantiate the object C1 for a child. So we can access C1 dot show. Show is nothing but a method of a child. Similarly, with the same object, we can also access the method of a parent. So this will also access the display. Similarly, if you want to use the variables, those variables also can be used. So we can we can write the variables, we can initialize the variables, and we can use that variable by using the object of child. So I will show you this one in the system, right? Implementing this single inheritance and multi-level inheritance. Right. Now this is all about the single inheritance. It's a very simple concept. So one thing should remember that we have to pass the derived class, base class name as a parameter to the child class or a derived class. So that implies this child class is inherited from the parent. Right. Now we'll go with the next type of inheritance, that is multi-level inheritance. So this is a single inheritance. That means only one base class and one derived class. Now we'll go with the multi-level inheritance. Multi-level inheritance. So multi-level inheritance means acquiring the properties from level wise. So level wise means, see, I will write here. Sorry. So base class, and from the base class a derived class will be there, and again this will act as a base class and it will derive another class. So this is the base class and this is the derived class and this is again the derived class. See, the same thing. So from the base class, a derived class, a class is derived, that means inherited, and it will act as a base class, and again one more derived class will be created. Simply example, grandparent, and this is the parent and this is the child. So parent is a derived class for grandparent, but parent is a base class for child class. So hope you understood, right? So child acquires the properties of parent, which again acquires the properties of grandparent. So level wise inheritance will be achieved here. Now we can write here some class grandparent. See, here we can write define def, some g display self colon print grandparent. Similarly, class parent def p display self print parent. Similarly, class child def c display self print child. Right? See, here parent acquires the properties of grandparent. So here we have to achieve the inheritance by passing the base class name as a parameter to the derived class. And here child acquires the properties of parent. So here we have to pass the base class name as a parameter for the child class. Now child can access the methods and variables of parent and a grandparent. So we can create this one object. So C1 is equal to child. So C1 is an object. So we can write C1 dot G display. So it can access the grandparent display function. C1 dot P display. It can access the parent display function. Similarly, C1 dot C display. It can access the method of child display method. So only one object can be created for child, which can access the methods of parent, which is the base class for this one, and grandparent, which is the base class of a parent. Because child acquires the properties of parent, again parent acquires the properties of grandparent. So the child object can be accessed, the members, that means the variables and methods of all the three, that means the child class, parent class and a grandparent class. So this is how we can implement this multi-level inheritance. Right? This is also very simple concept. So hope you understood this inheritance concept. So single inheritance and multiple inheritance. So we'll stop here for this session. So I will show you the implementation part now, and in the next session we'll go with the two more inheritances, that is hierarchical inheritance and multiple inheritance. Right? So we'll move on to the system. I will show you the implementation of this single inheritance and multi-level inheritance.
Hello friends. So just now we have seen the inheritance concept. So there will be one parent class and the child class. So a class can consist of the variables and methods, and the child class will inherit the properties from the parent class. So this parent class can also be called as base class. The child class is also called as derived class. So instead of creating an object for parent class, we can create an object for the child class which can access the variables and the methods of a parent class. So now let us see the implementation part of this thing. So first let us see the single inheritance, and then we'll go with the multi-level inheritance. So for this we have seen that class followed by class name. So I will give the same parent colon, and here we can give the variables and methods. Just I will give methods. So every method or a function should start with def keyword, def. So I will give here as so display, and we have to pass one parameter, that is self. Okay, then I am writing the simple print statement, parent class. So this is a parent class, and just coming out from the class I am creating one more class which is a child class. So it should inherit the properties of parent. For that we have to give the pass the class parent, I mean the base class name as a parameter to the child class. So this step will inherit the properties of parent by the child. So here also I am giving one more function called show. So here also we have to pass the parameters, right? Then I am writing the simple printf statement, child class, right? See, now I am creating an object for the child. So c is equal to child. So this I have created an object. Now with the help of C, I am just accessing the display function, that means which is written in a parent class, and similarly I am accessing the function of child class. So I will just save the file, and then we can execute this one. Single inheritance.py. I'm executing this one, so you can see both the parent class and child class. So here you can observe that here we have written one parent class, one child class. So here the child class, we are passing this parent class as a parameter to the child class, so that this child class inherits the properties of parent. So what is meant by inherited? So acquiring the properties, that means the child class can access both the variables and methods of the parent. So here I am writing the display function in parent class which is accessed by the child object. So if you are not writing this one, see, so this is a two different classes, there is no concept of inheritance. If you execute this one, you will get an error. Because so child object has no attribute display, because so in order to access the methods of a parent class, we have to create an object for parent, and if we want to access the method of a child class, we have to create an object for child. So then only we can access. See here p is equal to parent. So if I call this display function with the help of a parent object and a show function with the help of child object, now we'll get the correct output, parent class and child class. So if the child is inherited, we have to pass the base class name as a parameter to the child class, so that we need not create an object for the parent. So with the help of the child object, we can access the methods and variables. So this is how we can implement the single inheritance, right? Now we'll go with the multi-level inheritance. So this is a multi-level inheritance. Multi-level inheritance means, see, I will write here grandparent, parent, and I am writing one more class. See, I will observe here, grandparent, parent, and I am writing one more class. Sorry, class child parent. So here I am writing grandparent. Okay, right. See, def. Let us create some ds or c display. We can write it anything. So just pass the parameter self for that. I'm printing the function child class. Right. Now I am creating the same thing. So here you can observe we are writing the three classes. One is regarding the grandparent, another one regarding the parent, another one regarding the child. Right. So parent inherits the properties from grandparent and child inherits property from parent. So in such case we need not create an object for all these three, because child inherits the child acquires the properties of a parent, which is again acquires the properties of grandparent. So we can create an object for the child, and through this object, child object, we can access the above level classes, the methods of above level classes. So here you can observe, see, I have created a child object C. So I am accessing the methods of both the parent and the grandparent. C dot C display. So we can access, so we'll get all the three: grandparent class, parent class, and a child class. So this is called a multi-level inheritance. So we are acquiring the properties in multiple levels. So hope you understood this one, right? So I am creating a class a grandparent. Next I am creating a class a parent which acquires the properties of grandparent, and again I am creating a class child which acquires the properties of parent. So here a child inherits the properties of parent, which again acquires the properties of grandparent. We need not go with the objects for all these three classes. We can create the object for the child class, and the last level, we can create an object for the last level, and through that object we can access the methods of all the above levels. So that's why we call it as multiple inheritance. So let us stop here. Till now we have seen the single inheritance and a multi-level inheritance. So if you are having any doubts regarding the single inheritance and multi-level inheritance, feel free to post your doubts in the comment section, so that definitely I will try to clarify all your doubts. And if you really understood my sessions, like my sessions, share my sessions with your friends, and don't forget to subscribe to our channel. Thanks for watching. Thank you very much.